We're live on the Clarets Match Live as Istanbul take on Burnley here over in Istanbul, and we will bring you the two lineups in just a second. We don't have any team news for the Turkish side, but what I can tell you is as follows. The Burnley side, Joe Hart makes his debut. We're about 3 minutes into the game, so I do apologise, and we do apologise for that, and it's been an absolute nightmare trying to get the game up. We don't know any team news from the Turkish point of view. We will get the team news to you as quickly as we can. But what I will tell you that John Walters starts tonight, and also the as I just said, we're waiting. As soon as we know about the Turkish team, we'll get that which they wore in Aberdeen in the first game. We're about 6 minutes in and still 0-0 as the ball goes back, and there's a good atmosphere. There's only 4,000 inside the stadium here in Istanbul, but it's a very compact stadium. A very big stadium, of course, but as I say, no. We've been playing 4 minutes or 6 minutes at the moment. Here's Basaksemir. They're playing in the well, this is the Istanbul team, just to give you that very quickly, as Burnley have possession on the far side here. We'll try and be as descriptive as we can here, because we've only just come on live, and it is difficult when you're progressing through a match. So this is Charlie Taylor again in the crossing from the left hand side, and it's hooked away again. As I say, a night of fuss really for the Clarets. It's their first away European fixture since 1967, which tells you all you need to know about that. And I hope you can hear us okay. We are having one or two them to you now. As we'll try and get you the lineups. Burnley have not been in European competition since 1967. This is the Istanbul side. Burnley do have a pro, however, and this is we'll just break off for a second. This is Westwood. We will bring you the two sides. We've been playing nearly 8 minutes here. We started a bit late because of one or two communications problems, but we are now live with you, and the ball headed back into the path, and well, that looked a foul there. It was Westwood coming in there on the edge of the penalty area. Burnley in white attacking the goal to our left, incidentally, in the first half, and the Lancashire team in orange shirts. They finished third in the Turkish Premier League last year, behind Galatasaray and Besiktas. So there's quite a bit about them now. This is their team. Whilst we've got an opportunity here, Ginuk is their goalkeeper. De Souza wears 80. Da Costa wears 27. Eprenu plays number 6. A couple of Arsenal men. Well, one of them is Gel Cliche. He wears 3. Tekemir wears 21. Belasgunu wears 5. Vizca wears 7. Kakibiki wears 17. Ilya 11. And Balic number 9. And of course they have Emmanuel Adebayor amongst their ranks as well, just to remind you. On the bench for the Turkish side, you've got Babakan, Atamiani, Apanyani, Jogic, Fry, Uka, and former Leicester and Napoli player Gökhan Inlan. Burnley, who are trying to go forward, they line up as follows: Joe Hart in goal, then it's Phil Barsley, James Tarkowski, Ben Mee, and Charlie Taylor across the back. Jack Cork, Ashley Westberg, and Jeff Henrik in midfield, with Johan Berg Gudmundsson and Ashley Barnes up front alongside John Walters. On the bench for the Clarets, quite a strong bench actually. Lilton, Volks, Ben Gibson, another signing who signed a day before Joe Hart did, Stephen Ward, Aaron Lennon, Kevin Long, and goalkeeper Adam Leskins. Zidane Jokanovic of Serbia is the referee. So that's all you needed to know, as De Silva, number 80, plays that ball forward once again. So a much changed Burnley team, of course, Southampton in mind. You'll be able to hear that in the Clarets match. And just to remind everybody that Premier League football returns to the JB Claret YouTube channel tomorrow. Join me in the presenter's chair at 7:15, 20 to 8 for an 8 o'clock kickoff. Russ Burnham will be your commentator tomorrow evening as Manchester United kick off their campaign against Leicester City. So we've had 10 minutes gone here in this European tie. Istanbul, Basaksemir 0, Burnley 0. Winners, of course, will play the winners of the Olympiacos game in the final playoff to get into the Europa League group stages. And Burnley would surely love to be in that race come the end. Here's Tarkowski. Tarkowski now to Ben Mee. What good news for Burnley, with Ben Mee signing a new 3-year contract. A real brilliant player. This is Jack Cork in field. Burnley having to take 17 fit players to the side because there's no Robbie Brady, no Stephen Defoe. Chris Woody's out, of course. Bardsley can't keep that in on the far side. The man I described last season as a man that should never ever play again in a claret and blue shirt. Well, he's got a chance now to prove me wrong tonight. Rossi's on. Good evening, JB. I hope you're looking forward to your seasonal debut on the YouTube channel. I know you made your debut during the World Cup, but I hope you've got your homework prepped up for Old Trafford tomorrow night. And you'll be able to hear us in action then. We'll have 2 games on Saturday. Chris will have the 5:30. Chris Whiteman will have the 5:30 match between Wolves and Everton as Wolves make their Premier League bow. And of course, I'll be in the box on Saturday lunchtime as Newcastle and Tottenham kick off their campaigns, and then I'll be down commentating on Southampton and Burnley on Sunday afternoon, kick off 1:30 in the afternoon. But at the moment it's 0-0, but Burnley having the lion's share of possession here over in Istanbul at the moment, and the ball played out towards the far side. It was rather wasted, and there's their coach. Done really well at the club. I don't really know too much about them as a team. It's a team that I've never come across in watching or covering European football, but I mean, to finish third in their respective league is no mean achievement, but not many household names in the squad apart from maybe Gael Clichy and of course Gökhan Inler, who's of course on the bench, formerly of Leicester City. Of course, a lot of people will not know that, but he served Napoli with distinction for many years. We'll play 13 minutes here. We joined the game in about the 4th minute because of problems with communications and things like that. But we are live with you on the JB Claret YouTube channel, the Clarets in Europe. We haven't put the actual title of the game, but we are a Clarets match live. And Burnley 0, Lancashire 0. They play in the Turkish Super League, so that's what I do know about them. At the moment, nothing really happening, just both sides just playing it towards each other, although a long ball which is well cut out by Charlie Taylor. Then the ball hooked forward again. Jack Cork is in there now for the Clarets, wearing white, and Cork looked as if he was held there. The referee said no. Well, I have to say the Serbian official didn't spot that. I felt that was a 3 kick to Burnley, and there might be some uproar there because that looked a foul there on Jack Cork as the Turks come forward again on the far side, and the ball back again. I do apologise for the lack of description here because this is a team I've never covered before. Da Costa does get that ball forward up towards Balic, I think, and he just didn't let him down. That certainly looked a 3 kick just over halfway on Jack Cork there, and I think that should have been a 3 kick to Burnley. But the ball knocked forward by Bardsley up towards Barnes, who will relish a battle here. There's only 4,000, as I say, in the ground, plenty of empty seats around the stadium here, and at the moment we're at 0-0, and we're coming up towards 15 minutes of the first half, and it's not, I know it's real history this for Burnley when you think about it. Their first away match outside of England or outside of Britain in Europe since 1967, and this really is a feather in their cap. But if they can get a positive result, nick an away goal, although it's not the strongest team that Sean Dyche has picked. I know he's got Southampton to look at, and I know he's got injury problems, but there were a few eyebrows raised when John Walters and Phil Bardsley were starting. Two players that I don't think are good enough to play even at European level. There's Sean Dyche, the Burnley manager. Burnley have never met Turkish opposition before in European competition. But they'll certainly know about it now. There are about some 900 Burnley fans that have made the trip to Istanbul, and I'm sure they've been enjoying the sun there for quite some time. 0-0 though, and it's been quite, I believe it's been quite calm and quite peaceful there in the city today. Burnley fans have really enjoyed and lapped up the atmosphere. You're absolutely missing nothing at all, because it's just both sides at the moment just cancelling each other out. It's not a particularly pretty game to watch at the moment, but Burnley will not panic at all over two legs. The second leg, incidentally, will be at Turf Moor a week tonight. Joe Hart making his debut in goal. That's the big team news. A man really that has so much experience at the top end of the Premier League and in European competition, especially Champions League experience. I think that's a good thing to have in Sean Dyche's armoury. And with Tom Heaton and Nick Pope out for quite a while yet, I think that was a good move, and there might be some healthy competition there in the Burnley goalkeeping department, certainly for the next 12 months or so, I would have thought. 0-0 though, as we come up towards, or just past the 17-minute mark in Istanbul. The ball over towards the far side, and that should be Joe Hart's, but he leaves it to James Tarkowski to boot away, and it's a throw-in to Basaksemir on the edge of the Burnley penalty area. Over on the far side, Clichy takes the throw, gets the ball back again. Now then, what can they do here, the Turkish side? Finished third, remember, and a good ball in, and almost a touch there in there for Babajic there, and he just couldn't connect there. That was a real dangerous moment there for the Clarets, and here come the Turks again. This really is Burnley on the back foot of it now, and the ball out towards the far side. Kavavitsky now making the break, gets the byline. Kavavitsky now takes on Charlie Taylor. Now the ball will be measured in by Da Costa. Da Costa crosses in there towards the penalty area, well headed away by Tarkowski, and in the end that was too close for comfort. 18 minutes gone, and this was the first big chance of the game. The ball crossed in there, great ferocity, and Bajic just couldn't get in there. It's a good cross, and Joe Hart was a worried man there, and that's the first genuine chance of the game so far with 18.5 minutes gone. Burnley just on the tenterhooks a little bit. Remember, they're short of numbers up top, and they didn't add, which was quite a worry, because there was Jay Rodriguez in the pipeline. There was suggestions that James Ward-Prowse was going to sign for the Clarets this afternoon, but none of which came to fruition, and one has to ask some serious questions of the board and the recruitment team. They're actually looking for loan deals for Leonard Balassi and James Ward-Prowse, which I find rather staggering, to be honest. But Joe Hart's considered a throw-in, and it's a throw-in to Istanbul, and they take the throw, and it's 0-0 here. Basaksemir reached the Europa League group stages last season. Won the last two, actually, incidentally, Europa League games, albeit in the group phase. And no Turkish team actually have ever lost to English opposition, as far as I can remember. As Walters wins a free kick from Ibrahim. I do apologise for the pronunciations. It's the first time I've covered this club, This is Joe Hart, though, a man we know and love quite a lot. Covered him many times in England colours and one or two others, as Istanbul comes charging forward once again. 20 minutes gone. We came in at about the 6-minute mark, and there has been no score at the moment between Basaksemir and Burnley at the moment, with 20 minutes gone. Just to remind you, tomorrow Premier League starts. Manchester United against Leicester is our big match tomorrow, and Russ Vernon will be your match commentator for that one tomorrow night. Kick-off at 8 o'clock, but I will be there presenting. And then on Saturday, a double bubble for you, Newcastle and Tottenham with me. And then later on at Molineux, Chris Whiteman will be commentating on Wolves versus Everton, as Wolves start their first Premier League campaign in 6 years. And what a journey they've had to go on to get there, Wolves. But here come the Turks now. Ball back to Cross, and again they had a chance. Still might. Clichy keeps it in on the far side, and Burnley under the pressure a little bit here. Running their look a little bit as we approach the halfway mark of the first half. Basaksemir coming forward, a long ball forward up towards Balic, and again good stout defending in the end. Ben Mee now, a 3-year contract signed only yesterday, only 48 hours ago. He's signed an initial 3-year deal with an option for a 4th year, which is great news for Burnley, because he has been a terrific linchpin, and one has to say, one wonders why he's not had an England cap yet. Well, the Turkish side have got a free kick there for foul there by Jack Cork, which was no more a foul than the one that Jack Cork should have had early on in the half. But this was the chance again. It was Vizca with a cross, and it just couldn't find Balic in the end. They do look a good little attacking side, and you can understand why they finished third in their league. With 22 minutes gone here in Istanbul. Free kick. And we have real problems here, and as the cross comes in towards the penalty area, and a shot, a wild shot there just to the right of the area and wide of the target it goes for to the disgust of their manager. It remains 0-0. There's Sean Dyche having a word or two with the 4th official there. Ashley Barnes yet to get into the game as such at the moment. Christopher says, look after Vidra, please. And does he start on the bench? Well, I can tell you he's not travelled. On the bench of the Clarets today, we have got, just to remind anyone who's tuned in late, so the Burnley side is as follows, as we just see that opportunity here once again for the Turks. Joe Hart's in goal, Phil Bardsley is at right back, Tarkowski and me the 2 centre backs, Charlie Taylor the left back, Cork, Westwood, Johan Berg Gudmundsson, and Henrik, with Ashley Barnes and John Walters further forward. On the bench it's Matt Lawton, Sam Vokes, Ben Gibson, the new signing from Middlesbrough for 15 million, Stephen Ward, Aaron Lennon, Kevin Long the centre back, and Adam Legkins. So no place for Matthias Vidra, and he's literally just signed, so he has to get Dyche fit before he can actually play a first team game. Meanwhile, Burnley have won a 3 kicks. Just to remind you of the Istanbul side in case you joined us late. Guduk is their goalkeeper, D'Souza is 18, Da Costa wears 27, Eprenuel is 6, Gael Clichy you may remember from his Arsenal days, he's the left back wearing 3, Tegamia 21, Skuru 5, Vizca 7, Kavaviski 17, Ilian 11, and Balic the striker number 9. On the bench is Babakan the goalkeeper, Atamar, Napoleoni, Jogic, Fry, Ukar, and former Napoli and Leicester player Jokan Inla. But at the moment, with 24.5 minutes almost gone, Burnley 0-0. If they could just pinch an away goal, what a difference that would make. And it would mean all the world to the Clarets. An away goal which they got at Aberdeen almost helped. I don't know anything about Naki Wells at the moment, but I'm sure I'm sure there'll be various news sources, but we'll try and concentrate on transfer deadline day another day. But at the moment, it's all about the Clarets match live, the Clarets game live, I should say. I've got to give it its new title now, so it's game, not match. It's just to let you know. Here's Jack Cork now, deep inside the Basaksemir half, but he then stupidly gives it away there. You don't want to be doing that. As we now heading towards the 26th minute of the game. Ben Mee, or rather Charlie Taylor, sorry, with a header there, and Tarkowski in there to sort it out and get the ball forward with his right foot down the left hand side, but that's going to go through to Gunnock in the Basaksemir goal. Try and pronounce that quickly if you can. 25 minutes gone. Burnley yet to fire yet. Which is hardly surprising because they've got a couple of sub players on in John Walters and Phil Bardsley. I understand Dyche's concern for Southampton. He's going to look after injuries, but I would have gone for it tonight. Put your strongest team out. Chris Wood didn't struggle with the squad, incidentally. He had an insect bite which has turned septic apparently, and he hasn't travelled. They do have Sam Vokes just in case Walters doesn't cut the mustard tonight, and Milton is there too. Bardsley's been ineffective so far. I've not really seen much of him so far, which proves my point that I made last season, that he's not good enough to wear a Burnley shirt, and I still think he should have gone at the end of last season. I can't understand why Bardsley has stayed here for a second season, and that should go out of play. Indeed it does. Goal kick to Burnley, 26, almost 27 minutes impact of the first half gone. Now, the Turks have just been marginally the better side. They certainly have had the better chances, which is a bit of a worry for the Clarets, but they are the away team. Chris Wood, in fact, is currently in hospital, but hopefully it won't be. Hopefully it'll be a precautionary measure and he'll be fit, hopefully, for Southampton on Sunday. Again, you can hear live on this channel. As we see Ashley Barnes there being fouled by Gail Clichy over on the far side of the field, and a free kick which Phil Bardsley will take about 5 or 10 yards inside the Turkish half. A long ball into the penalty area. Chance inside the penalty area for Burnley, and it's not cleared properly by the Turkish defence, and Ashley Barnes and Tarkowski just could not prod the ball home. It was a good free kick, I'll give Phil Bardsley that. Caused a lot of problems in that Basaksemir defence, and in the end an opportunity there just went to begging there for Burnley, as Clichy now brings the ball away for Basaksemir. First real opportunity for Burnley, just couldn't prod the ball home. An away goal is also important, and it's also important certainly in European football that you get that first goal. At the moment it still remains 0-0 as De Costa now plays the ball back. Pereño gets it go forward again. 0-0 is the score as we go into the 29th minute of the game. Well, inside the 29th minute of the game, the ball ushered back to Gunnock, the goalkeeper, plays out from the back, short this time. 0-0 is the score as we now go into as we now played exactly 29 minutes here in Istanbul. It's 0-0. The Clarets match live. We will change the title once the stream has finished this evening, so then you know. But we didn't feel that it was necessary. We didn't think it was necessary to write it down. We just wanted to get on straight away with the game. 0-0. No, Matthias Bidri didn't travel with the side. Meanwhile, here come the Turkish side now once again. Good ball out towards the far side. De Costa is there, and a chance here for them to whip the ball across, and Joe Hart having to make a save at the inside the 6-yard area. That was a real heart-in-mouth moment there for the Clarets, who are now on the back foot once again, having created a couple of chances themselves. They are really going for it. This is Kavavishki. Vishka. Good football again this time from the Turkish side. Tekemia. Good tackle again. Off a Turkish player and out for a throw into Burnley with half an hour gone. Well, it was the number 80 here, D'Souza, making the break. And I was getting on the end of that. In fact, he had the shot, and Joe Hart did really well to palm it away. D'Souza getting his shot off, and that's a good save by Joe Hart. Well positioned there, the former England goalkeeper. A real pleasure to have him on board, and I think he'll flourish again under the tutorship of the goalkeeping coach at Burnley, Billy Mercer, who's made Tom Heaton and Nick Pope real brilliant custodians in their own right and turned them into England internationals. And now he's got the job of resurrecting Joe Hart's career. He, in actual fact, had to take a massive pay cut to come to Burnley, but he was very pleased to join the club. And did a long spell at Manchester City where they've given him a real graceful goodbye. I think that's good to see, because he came through the system at Manchester City, and they've made him out to be the goalkeeper we are. And I think we've got Joe Hart really. Burnley have got Joe Hart in the peak years, certainly for a goalkeeper. One has to say. But at the moment it's 0-0. We will be taking a 10-minute break as per usual to get our bearings together, and let's see what happens here in this second half. Well, we've still got another quarter of an hour of this first half to go. This is Bardsley. Into the penalty area it goes. Walters was lurking, so too was Westwood. Chance here on the volley, and over the top by Johan Berg Gudmundsson with his left foot, and over the top it goes. It would have been some goal if he managed to score it. Was a bit of an acute angle on the left hand side of the edge of the penalty box when he struck it, but still a really good strike, and it had the goalkeeper quite worried there for a second or two. But it's gone into the empty stand behind Gunnock's goal, and behind for a Basaksemir goal kick. 0-0. 32 minutes gone. I know it's not the big match that everyone's expecting, but you know, it's Burnley in Europe, it's historical, it's everything else. We will attempt to bring you the second leg live next week as well for Turf Moor if we can. We'll let you know in due course, but we've got plenty of football to keep you occupied over the next 3 nights as well as tonight here on this YouTube channel. And we want to thank everyone who tuned into the Community Shield match the other day. All 2,500 of you listened. Thank you very much for doing so. And we've also, good news, in case you haven't realised, we have broken the 500 subscribers mark as well on the YouTube channel. So if you are joining us for the first time tonight, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to like the video as well, because likes of course are very much appreciated. 0-0 in Turkey. 33 minutes gone here on the Clarets match live, or the Clarets game live I should say, as the number 7 now, Vishka, has possession. Back again to D'Souza. D'Souza plays the ball back, and Tekemia gets the ball back to his goalkeeper Gunnock, who wears number 34. 33 and a half minutes gone here. 0-0. Burnley have threatened a couple of times, but Basaksemir have created the better openings so far in the first half, one has to say. But Burnley are holding in there at 0-0. The first objective, get to half time without a goal being scored against them. I think that's the key for the Clarets here tonight. The ball back with Gunnock, the goalkeeper, and he plays the ball out to the far side. Clichy now starts to make a break over on the left, but he's been ignored by Eprenu. That's a good, and it is very difficult to tell who's who really. Gael Clichy now playing the ball back. He's the only player I know really that is a familiar face. One or two, the number 7 Vishka looks pretty good, pretty nifty, and De Costa, the number 27. And one or two of them wearing unfamiliar shirt numbers. I don't remember commentating on a match where somebody's worn 80 in a match, and I've been commentating regularly now on this channel for nearly 3 years. One ball forward down the line. Chances here now for Vishka to get across into towards the penalty area, And it might have been a handball there against one of the Turkish players, but it's still play on. Ball hooked back across, and a good bit of defending there from Burnley, because that was a good low cross from the right hand side, and the captain didn't take any chances here. Again, it was Viska with the cross, good right footed cross, and Burnley just stuck out a foot and conceded a corner. Burnley on the back foot yet again here. 10 minutes to half time. Less than 10 minutes to go to half time. The Clarets game live on the JB Claret YouTube channel. The first Clarets game live of the new season. We did a delay one earlier in the previous round against Aberdeen, as the corner comes in from Viska into the penalty area, and a good tip over from Joe Hart. Really good tip over there to deny the defender there, De Costa. Really good header from just around the penalty spot area. Did well, got a good header on it. Might have been dropping in. Joe Hart just couldn't take a chance there, and he palmed it over. And another corner. Again, Viska with it. Again, he's played it towards the edge of the area, and then the shot back in goes way over the top. And a good hind for a Burnley goal kick, to the vast relief of everybody in the Claret and Blue persuasion, for which I number myself one. But a good corner there by Viska into just by the penalty spot. He got a good purchase on that header. It was a very good header by him, but again, Joe Hart just didn't take any risks there, and just casually in the end palmed it over, and Burnley saw out the trouble. 0-0. One ball forward over the top now, looking towards Ashley Barnes. Barnes might get there on the edge of the area. Ball just didn't bounce, and it's hooked away by the Lancashire defence. Still no goals, but Burnley just living on the edge a little bit, because Lancashire have created one or two key opportunities so far in this first half. I mean, Burnley are actually anyone at Turf Moor. It's just away from home in Europe. They are an unknown quantity, and Russ has said he's done his prep for the game tomorrow. Well, he's very organised, much more organised than me. I couldn't get the team lineups until the last second. We didn't even know we were going to be going live until the last second. But as we always endeavour on the JB Claret YouTube channel, we try and bring you historical moments, and this is an historical moment in Burnley's European history. Our first away match outside of the UK, from a competitive match outside of the UK for over 50 years, and we're pleased to bring it to you live, and that's a marvellous historical moment again, although not many people will listen to it, but hopefully we'll get a few thousand listeners for Russ's match tomorrow night, and then of course I'll be commentating on the Newcastle game on Saturday lunchtime, and then I'll be back in the presenter's chair with the full classifiers to start with, and then we'll be joining Chris Whiteman as he does Wolverhampton Wanderers' return to the big time as they take on Everton, who have spent quite a lot in the window today, and a few might make their debuts as the shot comes in and it's blocked away. And again, Basaksemir again asking a few questions on that Burnley defence. So far it's stood up to it. Flagger stayed down, and a chance here for Basaksemir, the captain, to get the ball into the penalty area. Clichy might try to cut the cross in. He does it towards the penalty area. One or two players appeals for a penalty, not going to be given. And well, Basics I think was looking for it, to be bluntly honest. It would have been a very harsh decision had it have been given. Let's have a look. Well, not for me. He's completely tried to fool everybody there in the stadium, and I don't think he was going to fool anybody there. It would have been, if it had been given, it would have been an even worse decision than the one Burnley had to suffer in the first leg against Aberdeen some 2 or 3 weeks ago. As Joe Hart kicks away, coming up towards would be even better. Burnley know they're a very tough proposition at home. Benji says hello to you, as we see Sean Dyche there coming off the bench back into his technical area. I don't think he's happy with the way Burnley have been second best, and it's not a surprise really that the team that we've had to put out, it just hasn't seemed at all well. And Phil Bardsley's defending again up right back has not been good enough so far, but plenty of time as Walters chases the loose ball, all 35 years old of him. Gunnock knocks the ball over the top of him. 0-0 is the score, and we've said this about 1,000 times as we come up towards the 40th minute mark. 0-0, 0-0, nada. It's That's the way the game is at the moment. And Burnley not conceding anything at the moment, but there might be problems here as Burnley does terrifically well on the edge of his own 6-yard area. It was coolly done because he was under a lot of pressure there from Balic, and he did absolutely tremendously well. And to be fair, he hooked it up for a throw-in, but it's still inviting pressure now because Clichy now has the ball. 0-0 is the score here. Can Burnley get to half-time with their clean sheet intact? Joe Hart's had to make a couple of routine saves. One to deny De Souza, one to deny De Costa with a header from a corner. Now they have created the best opportunities back here, as you would expect, with them being the home team. Burnley setting up very much to try and snatch a draw or a goal on the break. They're away from home for the sake Turf Moor for the return a week today, and hopefully you'll be able to hear that with us on the JB Claret YouTube channel. As the shot comes in, it was charged down. James Tarkowski again putting his body in the way, and the shot came in, I think, from the captain, number 5, Basaksemir, and still not away yet as the ball is hooked in there towards Balic again. And once again the Burnley defence having to work overtime to keep the Turkish side at bay here. Istanbul Basaksehir. This is the shot by Basaksemir, which was charged down. It was a right-footed drive, and it just didn't come away this time. Burnley are really under the cosh here in this first half, and I think we are second best like we were in the first leg up at Pittodrie some 2 or 3 weeks ago against Aberdeen. Remember, away goals do count double after 90 minutes in European competition at the end of 2 legs. Not 120 as we have seen many times before in the League Cup or the Carabao Cup to give it its full title. That returns next week, of course. We'll have a tie from that first round of the competition as well for you next week, plus Burnley in the Super Cup, of course, next week. Offside given there, so that stops the Turks going further forward. And we've run into problems. We've lost something from that game. I'm afraid to say that we might have to cancel the broadcast here, I'm afraid, because we've lost footage of the match, I'm afraid. And what a shame that could well be, but we'll endeavour to get that back for you. These live broadcasts, they are quite risque, I'm afraid, which is an absolute, that's the problem you've got. But we'll try and endeavour to get something amounting to this back for you as soon as we can. I am sorry that we've lost the. But what I can tell you is the score is 0-0 here. The score is 0-0 here, and we haven't. Unfortunately, we're not live at the moment, and we will endeavour to get the game back for you as soon as we possibly can. And we are back live now with you. We just lost the stream for a second or two, and which is always a problem, I suppose, in hindsight. But you haven't missed anything at all. We're into the 44th minute of the first half. 0-0 is the scoreline, and Istanbul trying to break forward once again. Benji just asked why we're not wearing the new black kit. Probably because they've got dark short. Just to give you the full kit of their side, they've got dark shorts, the Turkish side. Probably why we're wearing all white is to prevent a colour clash. It's just a colour clash because the Basaksemir side are wearing dark shorts. Basically, they're in the orange shirts, dark shorts, and orange stockings, just for the record, barely all in white. So I hope that clears up that little clearer there for you, Benji. 0-0 as we go into the final 15 seconds of normal time. Burnley under the cosh a bit, but still holding their own away from home here in the third qualifying round of the UEFA Europa League. And we're going to just have the 1 added minute on top of the 45 that we already have. We'll be taking a quick break after that. As Balascu has the ball out with the far side, and then Cliché whips in a wicked little ball, but Charlie Taylor gets there first. Good little pirouette away by Ashley Barnes. Barnes goes over the halfway line towards the centre circle, and he's tripped inside the centre circle. The referee is having a word there with Da Costa, because he was the man who fouled Ashley Barnes. Loves a battle, the two, does Barnes. He's a player that the opposition would not enjoy playing against, I can assure you of that. So we're about 37 seconds inside the 1 minute. Once the first half is over, we will take a quick 10-15 minute break, and then bring you hopefully the whole second half live for you. And unfortunately we won't have time. We will be off the air around about 8:30, 9 o'clock this evening, as the full-time whistle or half-time whistle sounds about 5 seconds before the 1 scheduled minute was due up. Well, it's a first half that Basaksemir did dominate in the main. They did have the better of the chances, but Burnley have offered a few opportunities. Barnes and Tarkowski had half chances from a scramble, from a free kick which wasn't properly cleared. Johan Berg-Gudmundsson hit a potential left-footed volley way over the top of the bar from an acute angle to the left of the penalty area, but apart from that, nothing really much to write home about here, as the teams walk off the field in Istanbul. Half time then in Turkey. It's Istanbul Basaksemir 0, Burnley 0. We're going to have a 15-minute break, and then we'll be back with the second half. And welcome back to the game here in Istanbul, where Basaksemir and Burnley are just about to come out. The possession stats, just to remind you, Basaksemir 70%, Burnley 30%. Shots at goal 8-1 in favour of the Turks, who are just coming out onto the field. 1 on target to Basaksemir. Corners, they've had 2, Burnley yet to have 1, but they committed more fouls to the Turkish side. They've got 4 to Burnley's 2. Thank you to Russ for that. They're our stats man for this season, as well as a moderator and one of our commentators. Well, it doesn't look as if there's any half-time changes from either side, but we will keep you abreast of any changes as Qual takes his place in goal. And just to remind you of the two teams, Gunnock is the goalkeeper. Across the back is Junior De Costa, or De Souza to give him his full name. So De Souza, De Costa, and Baramo and Clichy across the back. Tangamia and Balazugu across the back in the midfield. Viska, Kavarichki, and Elia across the middle as Burnley prepare to get us underway, and Balic up front for the Turks. Joe Hart in goal for Burnley. Back forward Taylor Mill, Tarkowski and Bardsley. Westwood and Cork the two holders, and then it's Goodmanson on the left, Henrik in the middle, and Walters on the right, Barnes up front. And so we're back underway then. 0-0 is the score, and no turbo changes. On the bench is just to remind you for Istanbul, we've got Babakan, Atamaya, Napoleoni, Djokic, Fry, Hukar and Inler. For Burnley, we've got Vokes, Gibson, Ward, Lennon, Long and Ledgkins and Matt Lowton. And we're back underway, but we've got one of the players down injured. And Burnley, of course, attacking the goal to our right in the second half. Basaksemir to the left as we see Bardsley going in very robust on there, number 11, Elia. Bardsley really needs to pull his socks up, because I didn't think he had a great season last season when he came in for Matt Lowton, when he got unfortunately got injured. In fact, the player is receiving treatment at the moment, so I don't think this is a good sign for him at all. And I've just spent half my half-time talk, half-time interval, trying to familiar myself with the formations and lineups. And in fact, one or two high foots going in there, and I don't know who's picked up the injury. Is it the number 11, or is it this? Well, is it the number 17, Kavicki? He was hurting his back. I think it could be Kavicki here who's hurt himself. He's back up on the field at the moment. There's only 4,000 supporters inside the ground as the long ball is hooked forward, but it's straight into the arms of Joe Hart. Burnley could do, I know it wouldn't be the worst result in the world, but an away goal would be also crucial to Burnley's opportunity to progress. Winners would play the winners of the Olympiacos tie. It's taking place at this moment in time, of course. Ashley Barnes actually penalised 3/4 of the way up the field. Free kick, foul on Epianu. Well, I think he's made a little bit of a meal of it today in the number 6, and I think he's booked Barnes for that. Well, if he has booked Barnes for that, the Serbian referee, then I think he's a poor referee, in my opinion. He can't book Barnes for that, surely. I know Ashley Barnes is very physical, but I don't think that's a yellow card offence. Really is. I find that decision baffling in the extreme. It's a free kick. In fact, well, if he's giving it for not being 10 yards back, then that's a ridiculous decision from the Serbian referee. I hate these foreign referees that don't err on the side of caution. I didn't think it was a yellow card. I still don't think it was a yellow card. I think that's a harsh decision. But it's 0-0 here. And the last thing Burnley need is a suspension in Europe. But Ashley Barnes was just trying to stand his ground. I don't know if it was for time wasting or not, but I think he was taken in by the Turkish crowd, the referee, and I found that very, very ridiculous. Burnley get a throw I think on halfway. Played 2 minutes and a half. You can have a shout out as soon as we get a break in play. You can now, in fact. Car and Buses Sport, and it's good afternoon, good evening to you. Don't forget to join us tomorrow for the Premier League starting. Russ will be your commentator for that one as Manchester United take on Leicester City at Old Trafford tomorrow. I will be presenting, and Russ will be your main man for that game at Old Trafford. My next commentary will be at St James's Park on Saturday lunchtime as Newcastle Burnley win a free kick for a foul there on John Walters against Gael Clichy. I'll be doing the Newcastle Tottenham game, and then on Saturday after we meet back in the presenters chair once again, Chris Whiteman will be making his first commentary of the season for us as he describes Wolverhampton Wanderers against Everton. 5:30 kickoff, and we'll have the full classifieds in the build-up, which will be starting around about 10 past 5 that afternoon. Not here then in this intriguing game here in Istanbul. Burnley Southampton, of course, will be with me at 1:30 on Sunday afternoon. So plenty of dates in your diary. So we approach the 5-minute mark. In fact, we're now past the 5-minute mark, and I think the referee was rather hasty in booking Barnes. I didn't think it was the right thing for him to do. I'm not enjoying the refereeing in this European games at the moment, and it looks as if we might have to see a substitution here. Looks as if Kavitsky can't carry on. Oh, he's looking for some more treatment. 5.5 minutes gone then in Istanbul. Burnley still holding their own here against a Basaksemir side who were the dominant force in the first half, looking to do so here in the second half. 0-0. Burnley holding their own defensively, but yet really shown very little in attack. Not surprising with the team that Sean Dyche picked. Just to remind you, Phil Bardsley and John Walters in the team. Ashley Barnes playing up top on his own. And Valetsky and Kavetsky now can come back on, so he's okay to continue as Barnes chases a long ball forward and ball out of play. It will be a Burnley throw-in. Barnsley to take it about a couple yards inside the Lancashire half. Second leg incidentally to come at Turf Moor a week tonight with a 7:45 kickoff, we're told. Game kicked off around about 7 o'clock, and we joined the action around about the 6-minute mark as Joe Hart kicks away, making his Burnley debut tonight. Joe Hart. Ben Gibson, another new signing on the bench. I know Burnley could have added a few more numbers, and the referee's given a free kick to the annoyance of Sean Dyche down on the near side. The Serbian referee starting to give one or two decisions in favour of the Turkish side here. It's Gael Clichy here. Well, Henrik's battling for the ball, and then Clichy just takes a tumble under no great pressure and cons the referee. You can understand Sean Dyche's frustration at that. 0-0. Basaksemir having the lion's share of it all, despite the iffy refereeing of this Serbian who hasn't really done much tonight, and I have to say I've been very critical of Serbian referees in recent weeks. The World Cup, if anything to go by, and a free kick in fact given in favour of Burnley, which is a surprise considering the referee's been favouring the Turkish side in a lot of its decisions already in the second half. Barnes getting a decision there. 0-0 with 53 minutes of the match gone. Joe Hart having to take the free kick. About 10 yards from halfway on the left hand side. Long kick forward, flicked on. Still a chance in there for Burnley. The flag has stayed down. A chance here for the away goal, but a good save. A really good save that was from Goodhawk to deny Jeff Henrik. It'll be a Burnley corner. Flag stay down. And Henrik trying to knock the ball back in towards Tarkowski. Walters winning the first header. They were both onside. Which of the linesman. It certainly got the Burnley fans really pumped up there. There's about 900 of them, and Burnley have won their first corner now with 54 minutes almost on the clock. As the corner comes in from Gudmundsson and towards me on the far side, and then there was a bit of pushing and shoving, which I must admit I didn't see. Although the referee at pitch level will have had a better view than myself, and he's given a free kick against Burnley. And the first corner comes to nothing in the end. The Turks have won themselves a very, very dubious free kick. 0-0. But Burnley having a bit more of a go of it in the second half, which is good to see. Henrik just couldn't keep his head, knocked the ball back across the goal, and Tarkowski would have had an easy tap in. But Burnley showing flashes of what they're capable of as an attacking force from set plays, and Burnley could do with a few more of the set plays that will put the Turkish side on the rack. As Burnley is good over, plays the ball in field towards Balic. Balic trying to turn, but he can't do so. But the Turks keep up the pressure here as Basaksemir comes charging forward. Number 21, Takamia, and now Da Costa. And now a chance here for Junior De Souza to get the ball into the penalty area. Hasn't kept it in play, and it's gone behind, in fact, for a goal kick. So 0-0 with 10 minutes of the second half gone. And the Turkish manager will be Lancashire manager will be annoyed here. But I think this was a genuine opportunity there, and Henrik just needed to hook that ball back across the goals, and I think Tarkowski would have had an easy tap in. The goalkeeper actually made a good save there. Reminded me, he did a star jump almost similar to Peter Schmeichel in his Manchester United days, where he made a star jump save, almost identical to the one against Newcastle back in 1996. We're with you until about 8:45 this evening. The game kicked off, remember, at 7 o'clock British time, 9 o'clock in Turkey. Here's Burnley to bring it forward for the Clarets. It's a right-footed ball towards the right-hand side. Walters takes the ball down well, and then he was fouled surely there. The referee not allowing it, or not giving the decision, and it's play on. As the ball is now with the Turkish side, the home team, Lancashire, and a good ball out towards De Souza rather, and De Souza making a break down the right hand side. Far side as we look, Gudmundsson to track him, and now an opportunity here now for the Turkish side. Shot coming in, it's very speculative, and in the end Ilya couldn't make any inroads inside the penalty area, and the shot was blocked off and behind for a goal kick. Visca with the ball in, still remains goalless here as we're now past the 11-minute mark, and looks as if tactics are being discussed down there on the Lancashire bench. I'm not sure how long Kravitsky is going to hang on for, because he's still feeling he's back as the ball goes out for a Burnley throw-in. Looks like they're going to have to make a change here, the Turkish side. And if they are, it's a blow for them, because he's one of their better players. And it's out for a throw into Burnley. They're now starting to plod forward a little bit more. Just creep forward a little bit. And they're going to make a change here. Jokic is number 27, or 28 rather. He's going to come on. And it was in with a challenge with Jack Cork, and it was completely his own making, really. Nothing that Jack Cork did. And it looks as if... So in his place comes... So Irfan Can Baskia, so Jokic is now on number 28. So we want to watch for him. Jokic is 28. So Jokic is now onto the field of play, and with 58 minutes gone, 0-0 here in Turkey between Basaksemir of Turkey and Burnley of England. The Clarets game live from Istanbul, and the ball comes out to the far side again, And it's D'Souza, number 80, running at defenders but not getting away from Charlie Taylor. What a good bit of play from the former Leeds United player. Nipped in well, got the ball cleanly and hooked it out for a throw, level with the edge of the Burnley penalty area to the Turkish side, who are still very much on the attack. Burnley not out the woods yet, coming up towards 59 minutes gone here. And a very, very difficult night for Burnley at the moment. They haven't really offered too much. That should be a free kick to Burnley. And again, the referee has got to stop it. There's a clear foul on Barnes there. And surely the ball will be coming out. It has to come out for somebody from their side, because Barnes got yellow carded for a very, very silly, for a very silly reason indeed. And yet none of the Turks who have played in the, who have made some bad challenges, have yet to get a yellow card. I just don't understand there. I can understand why Sean Dyche is a little bit angry with the situation, but they've got a free kick here, the Clarets. 59.5 minutes gone. Not notice the score, 0-0. Here's Barnes picking the ball up, and then his ball is too overhit, and it's Gunnock's ball, and he can take that under no great pressure inside his own penalty box. Picks it up around about the left, to the left of the penalty spot as the hero of the first leg against Aberdeen, Sam Vokes, is about to enter the fray. Will he replace John Walters? Will he replace one of the midfield players? Will Burnley match up and go 4-4-2? Will Burnley change formation and go 4-4-2, or will he take off Ashley Barnes? Well, I think they need to go 4-4-2, the Clarets, because I don't think that's one up top is working too much. I think if they go 4-4-2, they'll give that Turkish defence quite a lot of trouble. This is Clichy on the left hand side now for Basaksemir, and then the ball knocked back by Budaskunu, and now Budaskunu takes the ball once again. The ball knocks in there once more, and out to play for a throw-in. Takamiya playing it in towards Budaskunu, I should say. Here's Clichy with a throw then. 0-0. And now we're gone. First leg, remember. Second leg to come at the turf next week, and you'll be able to hear that hopefully with us here on the JB Claret YouTube channel in full, hopefully. But it has been a difficult night for Burnley away from home. It's always difficult when you're playing away first in these two-legged games. Here's a chance now inside the area. Shot comes in, and it's into the side netting from the substitute Jokic. A real body ball that might have been there for Burnley. There's a flick on there by Balic, and then Jokic, the substitute, has hit a shot. I don't think it was. I think Joe Hart may have had the shot covered. Now that's a surprise. Goodmanson is coming off, and well, I don't know who's going to be taking the set pieces now, because Goodmanson's probably the best outlet on corners. I find that substitution baffling. Well, Vokes has come on. I don't know if Barnes is going to go out to the left. I assume he is. Try and ruffle up some feathers. I would have thought. Well, that does amaze me. But Walters has kept that ball in on the far near side. I will get to you absolutely anonymous in just a second or two when we get a break in play. Now they've got a free kick the Turkish side for nothing challenged there. I didn't see anything there untoward there. I think the Serbian referee's been a little bit biased towards the Turkish side at the moment. And here they are already in the penalty area. Viska now playing the ball in, and again Burnley just making a little bit of a dog's dinner of the clearance. Terry didn't get it too far away. D'Souza picks the ball up over on the far side. Now the ball back on halfway. And now the number 6, Iliak, could come forward once again. Still 0-0. Da Costa now over halfway, chipping the ball in. Again Ben Mee cutting it out. Remember, he signed a new deal at Burnley. 3 years with an an opportunity of a fourth one. An option of a fourth year as Tarkowski hooks the ball out. Now I can come to Absolutely Anonymous. He says, hello JB, just joining you now as we got to work. How's Burnley play? Well, we're 0-0. They've been very much second favourites so far. They've had one or two fleeting opportunities, but Bakashira forced Joe Hart into making a couple of saves necessary. It hasn't been the greatest of games. Burnley have really struggled, but defensively they've looked sound. But here's Clichy now on the near side. That's a decent ball in there. Now here's their number 7, Viska. And he's won a goal kick, is it? Oh no, it's a corner, says the Serbian referee. Corner it is. 63.5 minutes past now. Burnley really need to stay in this game, not concede anything. I think that's the first objective. Do not, under any circumstance, concede a goal. Berlusconi to take the corner. 64 minutes gone. Berlusconi is with the corner in towards the penalty area, headed away by Ben Mee. Berlusconi will have a second opportunity. Finds Clichy, left hand side. Clichy crosses in, hooked away by Burnley. 0-0 is the score. Still Burnley hanging on in there as Clichy sends another ball towards the far side this time. Taylor winning the header, but it's come out only as far as the number 9 there, Balic, and it's behind for a corner. Must have got a deflection. I'd have to look at a replay just to convince myself that it is a corner and not a goal kick. So give us a telling angle from behind the goal. Yes, it hits Ben Mee and goes behind. Referee was right for once. Viska with the corner then for the Turks, who have played okay. He's looked to Fred on the right hand side, incidentally. There's the cross, comes in towards the penalty area. Once again Burnley winning the first ball, but again they picked up the second ball here, the Turks. Now Viska, and this time a lower flat across in there and a flick on which could have gone anywhere. Almost came to Elia on the far side, and if it had come to him, Burnley were in all sorts of trouble. Well, thankfully it's gone behind for a goal kick, but they're turning up the power here, the Turkish side, and Burnley here. This was the big moment really for Jokic when he hit the shot wide. I think a more accomplished player of his calibre would have rattled that into the net. And you can just tell from Gunnock's reaction how close that really was. Absolutely anonymous again. All good. Oh no, Burnley go through. Always hard going away in Europe. You try and beat them on your own patch in the second leg, which takes place a week tonight. Joe Hart in 0-0. An away goal would be even brilliant if we could nick one, and that would really set the tie up fantastically well as we go into the last quarter of the first leg. Remember, the second leg takes place a week tonight at Turf Moor, and in between that we'll be live again on Sunday with Southampton at St Mary's as Burnley go to Southampton, and I'm sure there'll be changes afoot for that one. I think he made changes with Southampton very much in mind actually. But 0-0. Don't forget Manchester United Leicester tomorrow with myself presenting and commentator Russ Vernon. That's the first of our Premier League offerings this weekend, as the Premier League makes a much welcome return to the airwaves. As we had 2 new voices to the existing commentary team that was last season mainly 1, but we got a 3-man commentary team in place this season. Russ will be there for the first match, and he'll be there for most of the Friday night games that we might well cover. Chris will be with us for the Saturday evening games, and then I will chip in on Saturdays and Sundays and the odd Monday night game, which might be good. His Dos Souza comes forward again, plays a 1-2 there with Viska. In fact, Viska has fouled his man, or De Souza's fouled his man rather, and a free kick to Burnley. Charlie Taylor, the man he was tripping, or rather Jeff Henrik I should say, who was the man he was tripping. Clear cut decision for the Serbian referee to give, as Hart kicks away with his right foot just to the right of the, and then something's happened here. There's a yellow card coming out. I hope he hasn't booked Joe Hart. He's taking, well, I don't think he's taking too long away. If he's having to reach, that's ridiculous from the referee. Joe Hart was not taking his time whatsoever. That is a joke from the referee. The referee has been appalling. You don't book players for... He wasn't exactly taking his time there, Hart. He was probably about 4 or 5 seconds. What are Burnley supposed to do? There wasn't any time wasting at all, and he's booked Hart for time wasting. I find that ridiculous. Sean Dyche is querying it. I just don't understand the logic of this referee from Serbia. I really don't. I'm very, very perplexed to see why Joe Carter's got a yellow card for absolutely nothing. I find that totally unbelievable, and I just cannot understand the referee's logic at all. So 2 yellow cards for what was perceived to be time wasting, which was certainly not from Ashley Barnes and certainly not from Joe Hart. And if I was, well, whether it was influenced by the Turkish supporters in the stadium, that remains to be seen. But 2 baffling decisions to book players for absolutely nothing as Basaksemir come forward once again. Being helped a little bit by some of the iffy refereeing, but the captain Basaksemir knocks it out for a throw, and Burnley can breathe a bit of a relief there. And an opportunity for me to actually take a sip of coffee that I made during the half-time interval. Right, we've got 20 minutes to go. Burnley holding in there at 0-0. But what would be perfect for Burnley now, if they could just pinch an away goal, that would be a terrific fillip to take back to Turf Moor for the second leg in a week's time. The winners will play the game involving Olympiacos. The winners of that, it might not necessarily be Olympiacos. The first leg would be away from home should Burnley get through there. Ben Mee now to touch it on to Tarkowski. Tarkowski back to Ben Mee. Mee again. First touch of control. Nice steady touch, and then chips the ball over the far side where Taylor was waiting. And then the ball he's hooked forward in towards the penalty area where Vokes was lurking, but so too was Gunn at the goalkeeper, who took the ball very cleanly by the penalty spot. And a little bit of pressure release for Basaksemir of Istanbul. 0-0. It's been not been the best game, I have to be honest. Lancashire have attacked well, but I feel like that quality finishing, which on another day might have killed Burnley off here. But they're holding in there very strongly here, the Clarets. Not would be a good result, but Burnley could do with an away goal. I am very surprised. I know Southampton are there on Sunday, but that's no excuse for Dyche not to have put out some better players from the start tonight. But he's got Tom Vokes and Ashley Barnes on the field, and we have missed the guy of Matt Lawton. I think Lawton should be coming on. I'd like to see Lawton on for the last 15 minutes to see if we can have a bit of impotence at the moment. But at the moment it's Burnley on the defensive again, and again Tarkowski came across. It's a corner. Good defending there by James Tarkowski. Did really well there. The man who's recently been capped as long ago as recent as last season, as Biska now prepares to take another corner here for Basaksemir. 17 and a half minutes left of the first leg to play. Burnley must not concede. They're all waiting in there with bated breath in towards the area. Header almost won there. But the Turks keep possession. And here's Cliche to Basaksemir. Basaksemir chips the ball forward towards the edge of the area. And this is Ilya back to number 27, Da Costa to pirouettes, and now Cliche has possession on the left hand side. Still 0-0. Amazingly, there's the shot coming in, deflection. It could have gone anywhere, that shot from Basaksemir, and in the end it just wouldn't fall for Balic to finish it off. And in the end Burnley we're very grateful to Burnley to hook it out. Burnley really living on their tender hooks here. May just had to stab it away. Another corner. Miller's going to take number 5, Emre, to give him his first name, towards the near post, headed wide, and no trouble at all to the Burnley goal at all. Sean Dyche and Ian Wone, the two men on the touchline. It's really has been a real tough 74 minutes for Burnley. Haven't really gone into their stride whatsoever as Walters flicks the ball on. At the moment they're playing for, I still think they need to score an away goal on, because that's got to be a foul there, but then the shot comes in from Ashley Barnes. It was a very speculative shot, right footed. It was well wide and over the bar anyway, but I think Burnley should have had a free kick there. I think the referee should have brought the play back, but it hasn't happened that way. Still 0-0 here as we now come towards the final 15 minutes of what Alex Ferguson, a time of which Alex Ferguson would say squeaky bum time. 0-0, it's the score here at the moment in Istanbul. Basaksemir 0, Burnley 0 in the Europa League third qualifying round. The winners will go through to a playoff round, and then if they win the playoff round, Burnley, they will go into the Europa League group stages and have guaranteed European football at least until Christmas. Remember, the top 2 from the groups automatically go through to the knockout stages that happen back in later on in the season, in the second half of the season, from mid-February onwards. Quarter of an hour of this first leg to go, and 0-0 is the score at the moment, and it wouldn't be the worst result in the world for Burnley, although a lack of away goal would show a little bit of concern going into the second leg at Turf Moor in a week's time. Looks like Aaron Lennon's going to come on for the remainder of the game, as Walters was battled without any great reward. Surely he's got to come off at some point here. I think John Walters has to be replaced here, because Lennon's about to come on. And in fact, Ashley Barnes is going off there. That is a little bit of a surprise. I have to be honest, but there you go. It looks as if Walters is going to play the full 90 here. And the Serbian referee needs to get away from Barnes. Just push him away nonchalantly. I've not been impressed at all by the Serbian referee. I think he's been a disgrace, as Barnes takes his time, and I think he's entitled to do that, to be honest with you. He gives a nice little clap there to the Burnley fans, and Lennon pace there, so it looks as if Walters is going to go further forward, I think, because Lennon will play on the right, I would presume. There's the throw to be taken by Bardsley. Bardsley throws it in there, and Vokes flicks it on. Looking for Walters. Looks like Lennon's gone to the left hand side. So Lennon looks as if he's gone to the left hand side, looking across out there to the field. Still 0-0 here. And we're inside the last 13 minutes of the first leg. Remember, it's not over yet. There's still a second leg to come in a week's time at Turf Moor. As Burnley now look to try and cement a not that's out of play before Jokic can keep that in play. It's out for a throw or goal kick with 12 minutes plus stoppage time to go here in this first leg. We'll be with you until around 9 o'clock, about 9:15, 10 to 9 tonight. And then we'll be back on the air at around about 7:30, 20 to 8 with myself presenting at Old Trafford alongside commentator Russ Vernon, who will be doing the Friday night matches, and his first assignment for us of the new season will be to bring you full match commentary of Manchester United against Leicester City. So join me and Russ as I present and Russ commentates on the first match of the new Premier League season. So join me and Russ at around about 20 to 8 tomorrow evening as we commentate on the match at Old Trafford, or as he commentates on the match at Old Trafford between Manchester United and Leicester. Burnley lose possession through Jeff Eric in the middle of the park, and there is a real opportunity now for Basaksemir to come forward once again. The ball out towards the far side. Now then, Basaksemir knocks the ball back again. The number 5, the captain, and ready to give him his first name. Still 0-0. 79 minutes gone. Here come the Turkish side once again. They have been knocking on the door a bit. 2 saves with routine from Joe Hart. Can Burnley hang on in there, keep a clean sheet? Taylor blocks the attempted cross there by Viska, and out again. Well, this has really been a top defensive performance from the Clarets, there's no doubt about that. But attacking wise, we have been a little bit powder puff, understandably so. 10 minutes to play plus stoppage time at the end of the game. And here come the Turkish side once again. 10 inside the last 10 minutes then in Istanbul. Only 4,000 inside the ground, which holds a lot more than that. Holds something like 15,000-20,000. With only 4,000 inside the ground. Joe Hart 10 minutes away from a clean sheet on his full competitive debut for Burnley, in line to make his full Premier League debut for the Clarets on Sunday afternoon against Southampton, and I'll be in the com box for that one around about 1:15 on Sunday. Kick off at 1:30 at St Mary's. 0-0 here in Istanbul as Burnley look to try and avoid defeat if they can. It's Lennon hooks that ball away. Whereas the cross came in, Tarkowski won the first ball and Lennon got it out as far as halfway. We've had 81 minutes here. Burnley can ill afford to concede here now in the latter stages. They've played really well, defended really well up until this point now. And it would be a shame for them to concede a late goal. But they have a good enough side out there, surely, to hold on in there. Tarkowski and me have played a blinder tonight up until this point. They've done really well. Hart has looked very, very assured so far in the Burnley goal. Touch wood, it stays the same until the end. Last time I commentated on him, he conceded 3 goals as West Ham were beaten by Burnley at the back end of last season. As Ilya has the ball, finds Clichy on the left hand side. We've had 82 minutes now. We're into the last 8 minutes of the game. First leg, of course, second leg to come, just to remind you, a week today, and hopefully you'll be able to hear that in full right from the start, this time on the JB Claret YouTube channel. We had joined you from the 6th minute. At the moment it's no goals to bring you here from Turkey, but at the moment it's actually decent news for Burnley because they're not conceding anything at the moment. But here's Ilya now to try to change all that. Shot comes in and John Walters putting his body on the line there. Good defending by him, but still not away yet as the cross comes in and hooked away again. Kakemir with the cross. I don't think he kept it in, incidentally. I think it is a goal kick to Burnley, which will be quite a relief to the travelling support. It's about 700 or 800 of them, and quite a number of a party from the local pub named after Sean Dyche, of course, the Royal Dyche. And Karim is about to come on for Basaksemir, and Ilya is the man who's been replaced. So Karim is off. So we've had 83 minutes. We're inside the last 6 or 7 As Burnley now look to launch a counter-attack, and now there's a free kick being given against the Clarets. The referee running straight towards him. I hope he's not going to have his card out. I can't tell who the player is down there. Sam Vokes is penalised to his disgust. See what happened. It was a challenge between him and Inamau. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong there. He's lent in, but it's not an elbow. I think he's made a bit more of that than number 6 than it needed to be. Not a free kick in my eyes. I think it's purely accidental. The referee's called that wrong. Still 0-0. Burnley not having the decisions either from this very poor Serbian official who's not really, on a scale of 1 to 10, is probably lucky to strike 3 on the scale of 1 to 10 at the moment, because his refereeing has not been very good. 2 bookings for absolutely nothing at all. I just think he's been a little bit trigger happy as regards that towards the Burnley players. I know you can stand for no nonsense, but there's been no nonsense, and then there's over no nonsense, and over the top no nonsense. And he's been the latter today, I'm afraid, as the Turks look to work another opportunity, and it's the number 7 Viska from inside the area by the penalty spot, and he chips it over the bar. Might have got a slight deflection actually, and then behind for a corner. Let's see if it did deflect as he gets his shot up. Yep, Ben Mee deflected off. Good defending there by the man who's just signed a new 3-year contract with an option for the 4th one. And we are now inside almost the last 5 minutes as Viska to take the corner. Can Burnley hold out and keep a clean sheet? Into the penalty area it goes. Tarkowski didn't even know where it was, and it was hooked out, but not very far by the Burnley defence. This really is squeaky bum time as Viska gets the cross in. I think they try to appeal handball there, nothing given. Then the cross is back in there once again. Tarkowski in there to win the ball, and I think he won it. Lennon is in there as well. The shot coming in, did that deflect as well? It's another corner. I know Burnley are saying it's a goal kick. Well, it was the shot there from Jokic. Let's see if it gets a deflection. Well, Tarkowski, there was half a shot for handball, but I don't think it would have been a harsh decision had he given it. So it's again Viska to take the corner. Burnley on the back foot a little bit now as we go into the closing stages. 4 minutes to go. Into the penalty area it goes, headed out. In fact, there's a bit of pushing and shoving, and Burnley can breathe a huge sigh of relief there. Da Costa was the guilty party this time, and a free kick with 4 minutes to go now to Burnley. Yeah, just a bit of pushing and shoving going on there. Was received from about 10 different angles. Well, the potential handball, they're seeing it again. I can't, for the life of me, Vokes' arm is not out. It's tucked in for me. Ball to hand, pure accidental. The referee would have been a fool to have given that one, to be quite honest with you, as Tarkowski under pressure just nods it out for a throw in, and now but the pressure back on Burnley once again. It's going to be real up and at them stuff now. As Clichy stars us forward on the left hand side, and again Bardsley. I have to say Bardsley did well there to cut it out. I have criticised him in the past. Maybe it's he was a little bit slow there to react perhaps, but in the end Tarkowski came to the rescue. Burnley still fighting in there. It's going to be a hard fought clean sheet if it does end 0-0. As I say, it wouldn't be the worst result in the world, although there'll be a little tinge of disappointment if Burnley didn't pick up an away goal, but at Turf, anything's possible still. 0-0 it is, with 87.5 minutes exactly now played, and the long ball forward, and that's going to be Joe Hart's every day of the week, and he takes the ball very confidently. Well, JB man of the match. Hard to choose really. I'm going to pick a Burnley man in the match, and I'm going to go for Joe Hart. He made 2 good saves there. Tarkowski as well has done well. In fact, I'm going to give it to James Tarkowski just about over Joe Hart, because Tarkowski has really put his body on the line, and Ben Mee has done well too, but I'm going to give it Tarks just over me and Joe Hart. But meanwhile, Burnley have a free kick now, almost midway inside the Basaksemir half. And it's Phil Bardsley who's won this, and it's a silly tackle there by the number 5 there, Emery. He's just completely tricked him when the ball's completely gone. Now Balic is going to be off. Balic is going off. And on in his place will be as Balic now comes off. Number 18 is going to come on. Nopignani, so no opportunity for Gökhan England to make a impact in this game. But a free kick now to Burnley. Bardsley to take it with his right foot. Referee just looking for a bit of pushing and shoving as that ball comes in. The goalkeeper coming off limits and actually takes a very good catch there under a forest of bodies, and he did really well there. Gwanok, he did really well. Good complete catch. He's had a good match tonight, the keeper, when he's had to do things, and his handling actually for a foreign goalkeeper has been very, very first rate. We're inside the last minute of normal time, and then it's down to the 4th official how much longer we'll have on at the end of the game. Burnley now so near now to that clean sheet, which would be so crucial. They haven't got an away goal, but it's not the end of the world. But a clean sheet is important, and it will give Burnley a lot of confidence going in that second leg next Thursday. A game you can hear live on this YouTube channel as that cross comes in there. Can Burnley prevent another corner? The answer is no. It's another corner of Jack Cork this time, to be taken from the far side. Burnley have gone in there. This is going to be a corner to be taken by Enre Basaksemir. And can he provide the thing? It's 4 minutes. Well, I don't know where he's got 4 minutes from. That's another disgraceful decision as that goes into the side netting, although it was hooked behind by Bardsley. Another corner here. Burnley really aren't making it easy for themselves, but that was never 4 minutes at the end of that second half. You can't say that was 4 minutes. Where the hell have they got 4 minutes from, the officials? The 4th official from is beyond me. The shot in and wide. Just about 25 yards out. It was the number 7 Visca trying his luck with his left foot, but well wide of target. We've had 30 seconds of the 4 minutes. I just can't understand where he's got 4 minutes from. I'm afraid the Serbian officials have been absolutely diabolical the whole night long. But at the moment, it's Burnley on for a decent result here in Turkey. 0-0 as we come towards the end of the match. The end of the game. We'll be with you until about 10 to 9 tonight. Yellow card, and about time too. About time too. Silly. Absolutely silly. And how can he have any complaints there, Da Costa? It's beyond me. The referee, for once in his life, was quite right. He had a fistful of shirts. You cannot do that. He's pulling back Walters. And not only that, it's a high foot as well. You could argue that's a red card offence, because he could have took off Walters' head then. He's lucky to have avoided a red card there for that, because I've seen reds for that, less than that. But Burnley have a free kick midway inside the Lancashire half, and if they play this right, they could nick an away goal. And they played it out to the far side. Here's Taylor now, far side. Can Burnley snatch it right at the death? Be a even better result if they could. Bardsley has possession, finds Cork. Cork now needs to find support, and it's a poor ball. In fact, it might be kept in. In fact, they've conceded a throw there. Not a lot Jeff Emery could have done with that ball. It was just poor from Jack Cork. We've played, well, midway inside the 4 minutes now. We've had 2 of the 4 minutes. Burnley have just got another 2 minutes to hold out. And a clean sheet and a draw will be theirs. And a free kick given. And the referee goes straight away to Lennon. He's got a yellow card, but that's not a yellow card. Give over, referee. Visca has conned the referee. And the referee, let's have a look. Well, yeah, he stripped him, but it's not a yellow card offence. Has this Serbian referee got the? That's a poor decision. Another poor decision. I think he's been trigger happy to 1 or 2 of the Burnley players. 2 unnecessary yellow cards. He's had a poor match, this referee. And some of the referees we've had in this competition so far, Burnley, have not been of the standard we expect from FIFA approved or so-called FIFA approved officials. They've been poor. As Burnley again just see out the first ball, win the second ball as they always do, and hooked out for a throw. Went out 15 seconds. Burnley should have had a throw. Taylor, he's furious, and it looks as if it came off a Turkish player last. Another poor decision from the Serbian officials. My goodness. And in fact, they're going to get a decision. Well, why isn't he not booked for throwing the ball away? Very quick to get the yellow card out for Ashley Barnes and Joe Hart for nothing. Why isn't D'Souza being booked? 15 seconds away from a creditable draw, considering it wasn't the best side that Sean Dyche could have picked. I suppose he had his hands tied in some respects. We're 4 seconds away from the end. Surely that must be that now. We've played 4 minutes and that's it. It's ended goalless here in Turkey, but it's a decent result for Burnley. They didn't look as if they were going to score an away goal, in all truth. They did have a few half chances, but there we are. The full-time whistle has gone here in Istanbul, and Burnley have came to keep a clean sheet, and they've got one, and they've got something to build on for the second leg, which takes place at Turf Moor in a week's time. So that brings us to the end of our programme this evening, and sorry we weren't able to bring you a goal, but it's great news though for Burnley. They've got a 0-0, but let's hope the second leg is much more better than the play of the first. And the referee wasn't a great help either, while giving some ridiculous decisions against Burnley. Just read Absolutely Anonymous's comment about the turnaround window for Manchester United. After today, my team, Manchester United, we're looking for centre backs. Was hoping Tarkowski debuted that would pop up. Unfortunately, not to be, but he is real quality. He was superb today, and he wins just about the JB man of the match over Ben Mee and Joe Hart, who had a decent game and keeps a clean sheet on his full debut for Burnley. Right, just some things to keep you abreast of before we go leave you tonight. Tomorrow we'll be back on the air around about 7:30, so a bit later than tonight. Well, we cover the start of the Premier League season. I'm the presenter tomorrow night, incidentally, and your commentator tomorrow for the game between Manchester United and Leicester at Old Trafford will be Russ Vernon. So join me and commentator Russ Vernon for full match commentary between Manchester United and Leicester City tomorrow. On Saturday, I'll be the man in the box as Newcastle and Tottenham begin their campaigns at St James's Park. That's the lunchtime kick-off. And then at 5:30, Chris Whiteman will be your man in the box as Wolves take on Everton, and will include the full classifieds in the build-up from around about 10 past 5, quarter past 5, in the build-up to that game. Then on Sunday we've got full match commentary of Burnley's first match in the Premier League away at Southampton. Southampton against Burnley, 1:30 kick-off, 1:15 start, and I'll be the commentator for that one as well. So that's all to come. There will be the weekend, the next 3 days, 4 matches next 3 days, and let's hope we have goals in them as well. Thank you very much for your company tonight. Have a wonderful Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. But the news here from Turkey is Burnley they had 17 fit players. It wasn't the best squad they could have chosen, but still a creditable 0-0, a clean sheet as well, which breeds confidence going into that second leg at Turf Moor next week. From me, JB, hope you enjoyed our first Clarets game live. No goals, but Burnley have got a clean sheet and no away goals, but that's not the end of the world, and it's all to play for in a week's time. From me, JB, enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow for Manchester United against Leicester. Till then, ta-ra.